Hey guys, welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a little bit different of a video. We're going to be doing a makeup and mystery, obviously, but we're going to be talking about a conspiracy theory. So I actually was discussing this with my dad earlier. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll discuss makeup and mystery topics with my dad and get his opinion, or I'll do it with my mom and get her opinion. And you know, I actually felt like everything going on right now with Russia and Ukraine, maybe this would be a really good topic video to do. So my dad and I actually have the same opinion on this matter, which is usually crazy. We don't. And he actually had some really, really good ideas. And he's talking about making a podcast channel. I'm going to make it. I've already kind of made one. And my dad's probably going to take it over. But we're going to start uploading when I hit 100 subscribers, which at the time of filming this, I've hit 90 subscribers, which is the coolest thing ever. Today, we are going to be talking about Hitler, which I'm sure you guys kind of guessed a little bit. There are so many weird as hell conspiracy theories with Hitler. However, I don't want to cover all of the conspiracy theories because I just think that most of them are outright stupid, honestly. But I do want to cover the topic and theory that Hitler escaped. So that is what we are going to be talking about today, is the topic of, did Hitler escape? Okay, so did Hitler escape the Nazis, the war, whatever you want to call it? Did Hitler escape? So I'm sure most of you guys know Hitler. You know, we study it in school in World War II. Adolf Hitler was not a good man, and I actually found out when I was in school that he actually had gone to prison before, and he wrote a book called Mein Kampf. But I don't think it was really that successful. He kind of didn't really get his success until after, like, the whole Nazi thing, honestly. If you're curious, I'm using my ColourPop Smoke and Roses brush set today, and I'm only going to use this palette today. This is one of my favorite palettes. So, Hitler, I know that, like, the Nazis themselves are also technically responsible, but Hitler himself is responsible for the death of almost like 6 million people. All because he had like this fantasy of like a super race or something. Like, I honestly don't even really know, because it's so stupid. In this case, like, it's so stupid. Like, I had heard that like Hitler was Jewish and he hated himself, and that was why he killed the Jews or whatever, or like his wife was Jewish, or I don't even really know why he hated the Jews, but he did, and he imprisoned them literally for no reason, and it's like 6 million of them died. And you can actually go and check out Anne Frank's diary. It's a book. It's a really good book. And read about it, because Anne Frank was a girl during that time in the war, and it's literally her diary. So, anyways, World War II honestly was horrible, and it looked like the Germans were going to win until the U.S. got in, and yeah, we all know that story. The U.S. kicked ass. The U.S. was actually going through a depression at the time. So, I don't know what I just did. I really have no idea what was just popped up, but I got rid of it, I think. So anyways, the U.S. was actually going through a depression at the time and did not want to get involved in World War II. And that was really how the U.S. stood, is that the U.S. was in the middle of a depression, didn't want to really get involved in the war until Pearl Harbor gets bombed by the Japanese. And then the U.S. enters the war and basically kicked ass, and I just love the USA. But anyways, basically the war ended pretty much after the US got involved, which is something I always liked about history, was the fact that the USA did not want to get involved in the war, but then as soon as the USA got involved in the war, it was over. So the theory is that no one actually saw Hitler's body, and so they think that he escaped. There was a skull found, but I had read that there was like tests done on it in 2009 that made it that said that it came back as a 40-year-old woman's skull that had a shot in the back of the head. However, when I brought this up with my dad said he never saw that, and he was curious as to how authentic it could be in making sure that they actually provided what was said to be Hitler's remains, which I'm also curious about. So, basically, what we think is Hitler's body, or said to be Hitler's body, definitely came up as not Hitler's body. Unless Hitler was a 40-year-old woman, which I doubt he was. So anyways, moving on, there was apparently a bunch of tunnels and networks in Berlin that the Nazis used all the time. So it's actually very, very, like, realistic to believe that Hitler used these tunnels to escape. And the most, like, well-known theory is that he escaped to Argentina, because apparently a lot of Nazis after the war actually escaped to Argentina. Specifically a place called Charada, I think? I don't know. But apparently, like, Nazis would always vacation there, and they were just comfortable there, and that's why they all escaped to this Charata place. There's also another theory that he escaped to that Hitler escaped to Antarctica, and this goes with another theory that I think is so stupid. He apparently was working on, like, weapons or something like that in Antarctica. Because people have a theory that Hitler had knowledge of, like, alien knowledge. Maybe he was an alien. I have powder everywhere. Just Jesus! But anyways, I'm not really gonna focus on the Antarctica theory because I don't really believe it. I don't think Hitler had alien knowledge. I just think he was a bad person in a bad time, made some really bad decisions, and cost a lot of people their lives. So there is that. So I was talking to my dad, and I don't have a theory either way. I don't know if Hitler escaped. I don't know if he did or if he didn't. And honestly, I don't really have a value on this either way, I guess you could say. And neither does my dad. Like, honestly, like, it would have been awesome to see Hitler serve out for his crimes. I mean, being responsible for the death of basically 6 million innocent people. Let's just go ahead and say he is a serial murderer with 6 million victims. Like, he'd be in jail forever, obviously. So it would have been awesome to see him serve out for his crimes. I don't actually know if that's what the U.S. had intended, or if they weren't just going to completely kill Hitler, because, I mean, when Hitler died, the revolution died, basically. The rebellion, you could say. Not revolution. The rebellion of the Nazis died with him. And I mean, like, yeah, there's still, like, Nazis to this day, like, roaming about, but they're not gonna do anything because they don't have their leader anymore, basically. And again, if he died then, okay, like, he kind of deserved it, I'm not gonna lie. My dad says the same thing. But if he didn't, I feel like this is gonna be so controversial, it's gonna get me in trouble when I say this. So honestly, if he did escape, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. I feel like if he escaped and lived out the rest of his life in Argentina, oh well, kind of. Because, like, the way I look at it, World War II was horrible and Hitler killed a ton of people. So if he did escape, he's definitely dead now. Like, let's not be hasty. He is for sure dead now. Like, he that old. So I feel like at least he didn't. My thing is that he was a bad person with a giant following. So if he did escape, he could have came back and tried to lead the Nazis again and really wreaked havoc on the world all over again and killed even more people. So, at least he didn't, I guess is what I'm trying to say, if he did live. So I guess, like, that's my thing, is, like, I'm glad he didn't, if he did survive, and I feel like that's the way it should be looked at, is if he did survive, at least he didn't. I don't have an opinion either way. I do hope he died in the war, but, again, if he survived, like, he could have led his Nazi rebellion again. Like, they could have recuperated and came back. But they didn't. Which would have led to more death of innocent people. So, I think that we should just be happy that that didn't happen. I know that there's, like, a show, my mom used to watch it, about, like, them trying to discover, like, the barrel, or not the barrel, the, like, tunnel works that Hitler used to escape. Because they were really trying to prove that Hitler escaped. And there was, like, a lot, and I mean a lot, of sightings of Hitler after the war. Like, a ton. Like, if you're curious about it and you want to look into it, I strongly say you do. Because it's unreal. So, in conclusions, I don't have an opinion either way. I think that if he died in the war, good. He deserved it. But if not, he lived out his days lonely and has to live with the fact that he is responsible for the death of 6 million people, and let's just be glad if he did live out the rest of his day that he is not responsible for even more people and came back to attack. Let's just be glad that that didn't happen if he did live. And that's the way I look at it, is that, like, World War II was so devastating for so many people, not just the Jewish community, but for so many countries. So, if Hitler did survive, I'm just glad, again, that he didn't come back. Because in all reality, he had a massive following of Nazis. He could have recuperated and came back and launched another assault on the world. He really could have. And, again, that would have been a longer war and even more death than the 6 million Jews that had died already. And they died unjustly, honestly. Like, they literally were killed, and they had these horrible living conditions in these concentration camps. I mean, they were basically Hitler's slaves, like, really. And it's just so horrible. It's so horrible, because they were literally basically his slaves. And, like, I really, like, if you look into it... Wow, I was not filming. I have no idea where I left off. None. I thought to do this topic because when I'm filming this, there's a lot of speculation going around that we could be going to war with Russia. And that would basically be like a World War III kind of thing. I mean, it's pretty well known that Russia invaded the Ukraine, and there's a war with that going on right now. So that's why I thought to do this topic. And it is a little interesting to wonder if Hitler did escape or not. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am feeling this makeup look today. Dominique Cosmetics' Unconditional Love palette. Gorgeous. I really want the Moment palette so bad. I mean, like, look at that. There's a reason this is one of my favorite palettes in the world. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all that social media great stuff. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys!